Grand rising, my beautiful kings and queens. Don't scroll yet because we have a lot coming up today in today's show. So, this ain't just tea, this is the truth and with receipts. So, let's get started. All right, today, our affirmation of the day, repeat after me. I am grounded, focused, protected, and prepared. I move in truth and not fear. And let the people say, Ashe. So let's get right to the news today that you need to know. First up, we have the deadly hantavirus outbreak linked to the cruise ship. Health officials around the world are tracking passengers after a hantavirus outbreak linked to the MV Hondias cruise ship. WHO says, of course, that's the World Health Organization, says 8 cases have been reported so far, including 3 deaths and 5 cases that have confirmed as hantavirus. The strand involved is the Andes virus, which can rarely spread person to person through close contact and prolonged contact. Who also says the public's risk is currently low, but more cases are possible because the incubation period lasts a few weeks. So, kings and queens, this isn't the time to panic, but it is time to pay attention. 3 people are already dead. Passengers are being traced across countries, and health officials are watching this really close. We learned from COVID that early information matters because when folks say low risk, we still need them receipts and updates and just using common sense. So, in other words, here we go again, back to 2020. So, continue to wash your hands, pay attention to credible updates, and don't let social media twist the facts. Nonetheless, it's here and we need to prepare for it. So, we get the mask out. Also, we have the rising tension overseas. U.S. and Iran ceasefire is under pressure right now. So the ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran is being tested again after new military activity around the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most important oil shipping routes in the world. The U.S. military said it intercepted Iranian attacks targeting 3 U.S. Navy destroyers moving through the Strait of Hormuz. And the U.S. then carried out limited retaliatory strikes on Iranian military targets. Reuters reported that the president said the ceasefire still holds, while Iran accused the U.S. of violating the ceasefire first of all. Anyway, the United Arab Emirates also reported intercepting missile and drone threats, adding more pressure to the region. AP reported that tensions remain high, even though the ceasefire has technically held since April 8th. So why does this matter to regular people like us? It's not just over their news. The Strait of Hormuz is tied to global oil movement at that, which means conflict there can affect our gas prices, the shipping costs, the groceries. We already know, we see it every day, supply chains, airline costs, and overall inflation. So kings and queens, when they say tension overseas, then don't tune out, because sometimes what starts across over there ends up right here with the gas and groceries and stuff like that. We seeing it just as much as they are. So let's go ahead and move on to our morning tea. First up, we got Kodak Black has been arrested in Orlando on felony MDMA trafficking charge. He's pleaded not guilty and requested a jury trial, but his bond is set at $75,000. This is an active legal matter, so we're saying alleged, we're saying court process, and we're watching for the receipts. And Big Frida is giving us Bounce Meet legacy news again. A 3-song EP with from the late Sophie is expected around June 19th, with the single called Blaze That Ass coming May 22nd. All right, let's move on to our forecast for today. New York, you'll be sunny and cloudy with a little bit of breeze and possible late showers later on. Your high of today will be 64 and your low will be 53. Los Angeles, low clouds early, then sunny and nice around 75 with a low of 57. Chicago, variable clouds today with a high of 62 and a low of 52. Houston, showers and storms and possible flooding. So your high of today will be 75 and your low will be 71. Phoenix, sunny and hot with a high of 103 and a low of 74. Atlanta, partly sunny and pleasant with a high of 74 and a low of 58. DC, clouds and sunny, breezy this afternoon with a high of 72 and a low of 52. Charlotte, partly sunny and less humid today with a high of 72 and a low of 55. Milwaukee, cloudy and sun with sun with a high of 61 and a low of 50. Vancouver, cloudy today with a high of 64 and a low of 50. Jamaica, Kingston, hot and partly sunny with a couple of showers later on with a high of 92 and a low of 79. And New Delhi, India. Good afternoon, everybody. You'll be, of course, hot with a high of 96 and a low of 80. All right, sports fans, we got the NBA Finals from last night. We have the the Pistons over the Cavaliers, 107-97, and the Lakers over the Thunder, the Thunder over the Lakers, 125-107. And today we have the Knicks and the 76ers with a tip-off at 6 p.m., and the Spurs and the Timberwolves with a tip-off of 8:30. All right, in Major League Baseball, we got the Yankees beat the Rangers 9-2. The Nationals beat the Twins 7-5. Cubs beat the Reds 8-3, and the Athletics beat the Phillies 12-1. The Padres lost to the Cardinals 2-1. And with their games today, there are a few, so catch them on your local channels. And the NBA opens and WNBA, the women, start tonight on ION with the Connecticut Sun and the New York Liberty at 7:30, the Washington Mystics and the Toronto Tempo at 7:30, and Golden State Valkyries and the Seattle Storm at 10. So make sure you catch the women tonight. All right, it's Feature Friday, Kings and Queens. So today we're spotlighting what's new, what's moving, and what's carrying the culture forward. This week's music spotlight is given R&B, hip-hop, legacy, and new school movement all at once. We've got Lizzo stepping back into the conversation with a new single, Isaiah Rashad making a return, Chris Brown and Leon Thomas linking up, Maya still reminding folks longevity is a real flex, and Durand Minar dropping a new album. And let me say this, new music is not just about the beat. It's also about who's still creating, who's evolving, who's finding their voice, and who's keeping R&B and hip-hop alive in a streaming world that moves faster than gossip and a beauty salon. Also, Chris Brown's album is slated to drop today with the single Fallen, featuring Leon Thomas already ahead of the release. Revolt reports the project is expected to include about 27 tracks. So on the TV and streaming side, Kevin Hart is not just telling jokes anymore. He's building a comedy pipeline. Netflix's Funny as is Kevin Hart is all about finding the next stand-up star, with real-time voting and a winner earning their own Netflix special. That matters because comedy has always been one of our cultural classrooms. We laugh, but we also tell the truth through laughter. And with Netflix is a joke fest running through this weekend in LA, comedy is getting a major platform. Stages, visibility, industry attention, and opportunities for new voices get to be seen. In film, one of the family-friendly picks this month is Swapped with Michael B. Jordan in the voice cast. And I like this one for families because body swap stories are really about perspective, seeing through someone else's eyes. So walking into someone else's experience and learning that the difference doesn't mean danger. And honestly, that's a message for some grown folks still need too. Also, looking ahead, the American Black Film Festival returns to Miami Beach, May 27th through the 31st, celebrating its 30th anniversary. It describes the event as 5 days of screening, star-studded events, networking, and cultural impact, with Regina King listed as the 2026 festival ambassador. Now let's talk books, because y'all know I'm always going to go bring back books to the page. This week's literature spotlights include new and upcoming titles from M.K. Asante, LaRon Martin, and Morgan Radford. That gives us memoir, history, identity, and personal storytelling. And let me say this. Books are still one of the strongest tools we have for preserving culture. A post can disappear, a trend can fade, but a book's on the shelf. I always say, nope, I'm bringing the receipts. So this weekend, add a book to your list. Buy one, give one, review one. And yes, independent authors count too, especially independent authors like me. So for cultural events this weekend, Black on the Block is coming to Houston's Art NRG Park, excuse me, on Saturday, May 9th, tomorrow, from 1 to 7, bringing vendors, food, music, networks, and support for Black-owned businesses and creators. In Atlanta, Mother's Day weekend is packed with culture and entertainment, including Universal Circus, Sweet Auburn Spring Fest, the Cherokee County Mother's Day Powwow, an Indian festival, and Escape's Mother's Day Love Affair with K. Michelle and Donnell Jones at the Fox Theater. For the literary world, Black Writers Weekend is in Los Angeles at the California State University with a screening, artist panel, creative mixture, and networking for writers and storytellers. And for streaming, RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star Season 11 premieres today on Paramount Plus with 2 new episodes. Also, keep your calendar ready because Tyler Perry's Zatima returns May 12th, and The Chi begins the 8th and final season, May 22nd. All right, so let's see who's playing in our face. Today's answer: platforms that profit, excuse me, from the culture, but do not always protect the people who create it. So let me explain. African American culture drives trends all over the world. Our music, our language, our dance, our fashion, our humor, our storytelling, our pain, our joy, and our style. Everybody wants that flavor, but not everybody wants to respect the source. That's playing in our face. Because too often, creators start trends and somebody else monetizes them. Artists create the sound and somebody else owns the rights. Writers tell stories and somebody else controls the distribution. Influencers create the language and somebody else gets the sponsorship. So yes, celebrate the culture, but also ask who owns it, who gets paid, who gets protected, who gets copied, and who gets erased. All right, y'all, it's time for Common Sense Court, where you, the viewers, become the jury and y'all help give the ruling. So today's case is the people versus culture without credit. The charge: using African American creativity, language, music, style, pain, influence without respect, ownership, or proper recognition. So the evidence: Exhibit A: our culture drives culture, trends in music, fashion, comedy, language, dance, and media. B: too many creators go viral without getting paid, credited, protected, or properly supported. C: platforms profit from engagement, but creators often carry the risk, labor, and originality. D: the community has power when we support creators directly and demand credit, ownership, and respect. So who has the most power to protect and elevate our culture? The artists and creators, fans and supporters, or is it the media platforms because they control the visibility, or is it the whole community because the culture is protected when everybody values it, funds it, and refuses to let it be stolen? So drop your answer, your guess, A, B, or C. Tell me why. That way we can figure out what we need to do next and how to move from here. All right. So while y'all getting those tallies in, we're going to figure out what comes next, what we're going to do next about it. So today, we are going to go into our, let me see, what did I have? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm having technical difficulties over here as usual. All right, so we're going into our roots and reality. Now, let's get into roots and reality, where we connect African traditions to the way we live, we move, we build, we protect, and we create today. The praise singer then versus the platform now. So in many West African traditions, praise singers and griots help preserve memory, celebrate people, record community history, and kept stories alive. They did not just entertain. They reminded people who we were, and who we still are, rather. They honored families, carried names forward, turned legacy into sound, and they made sure the community remembered. So now let's bring us in back to today. Today's platform might be YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, podcasts, TV, books, or even live events. But the responsibility is still there. So who's telling the story? Who's preserving the truth? And who's lifting up the people? Who's remembering our elders? Who's documenting our movements? And who's making sure our children inherit more than just these trends? So the old praise singer carried the names, the new creator carries the platform, but the assignment is still sacred. Tell the truth, honor the people, protect the stories, and give credit. All right, our truth bomb for today is culture does not just entertain us, it documents us. So let that sit for a minute. Everybody sings songs that tell somebody's truth. Every film frames somebody's reality. Every book preserves someone's imagination. So we have to be careful what we celebrate as well. We have to be mindful of what we normalize. We have to support the creators who are building with purpose, because culture becomes memory and memory becomes legacy. All right, on to our horoscopes for the day. We have starting up with Aries. Your energy is bold today, but use it with direction. Not every door needs to be kicked open. Your lucky numbers today are 9, 23, and 51. Taurus, comfort is always calling, but growth may need you to step aside your usual rhythm today. Your lucky numbers today are 6, 18, and 43. Gemini, your message, invite, and your conversation may shift your weekend plans. So stay flexible. Your lucky numbers today are 12, 27, and 35. There's a fly in here driving me nuts. Cancer, protect your emotional peace. You do not have to attend every argument you are invited to. Your lucky numbers today are 4, 16, and 48. Leo, your shine is noticeable today. Use your influence to encourage and not overpower. Your lucky numbers today are 11, 25, and 39. Virgo, wrap up loose ends before the weekend. Your future self wants less clutter. Your lucky numbers today are 7, 20, and 44. Libra, balance fun with wisdom. Cute plans still need common sense and a safe ride home. Your lucky numbers today are 3, 15, and 32. Scorpio, your instincts are sharp. Trust what you feel, but let facts hold the flashlight. Your lucky numbers today are 8, 26, and 50. Sagittarius, the weekend may tempt you to overdo it. Enjoy yourself without ignoring your limits. Your lucky numbers today are 10, 29, and 47. Capricorn, you have earned enough rest. Put the checklist down long enough to breathe. Your lucky numbers today are 2, 14, and 41. Aquarius, your creativity wants room. Try something fresh, even if it starts small. Your lucky numbers today are 13, 31, and 41. And Pisces, your spirit may need softness this weekend. Choose peace over performance. And your lucky numbers today are 5, 19, and 37. All right, kings and queens, today's takeaway is simple. Support the culture, protect the story, and give creators their credit. This weekend, be intentional. Support somebody's art. Share someone's business that you have, gone to and enjoy. Buy someone's book, like mine. Stream somebody's project. Attend someone's event. Leave somebody a review. And tell people you love that you love them while they're still here. And be sure to return next week, because next week we are focusing on relationships. So we'll be talking about love, loyalty, friendship, communication, boundaries, betrayal, healing, and, just stuff people avoid until it happens to them. So I'm Mell B. This has been Morning Tea with Mell B. Keep your cup full, your eyes open, and your spirit protected. Have a great and safe weekend, everybody. Period.